So here I am in my hometown of León, Puerto Rico. I'm at my mom's house. And it feels good to be home. There's the mountain where I live. And I want to see if you can see that tree right here. That's the tree I want to talk about. I'm under this tree because it's raining real bad. But I want to talk about this tree right there. Here I am in Puerto Rico. It is raining. It is rain season right now. And this is the backyard of my mother's house. There's a river here. The water's going crazy. But one thing I want to show you. You see these roots right here? I'm going to show you this guy. See if you can see him or her. This is the king of the trees in the Caribbean. The most sacred tree. It is a Ceiba. This is the Ceiba tree. I'm going to get a beautiful angle of it. The flowers are covering. This is just still a baby. Look at how it comes out like that. It's magnificent. But I want to show you La Ceiba. I'm going to try to get more of an image of it. Trying not to get my camera wet. Look at this beautiful guy. La Ceiba. It's thundering out, it's raining out. I'm gonna go in here. Very sacred tree. Look at that, I'm under a Ceiba tree right now. It's raining like crazy. Hopefully I don't ruin my camera. I'm gonna go a little bit further in. This is La Ceiba, the king of trees here in the Caribbean. Ceiba trees grow to be 80 to 100 feet tall. This one looks like she's around 45, 50. So she's halfway grown. And look at the trunks. Look at that. She's just a baby. There's a river going crazy in the back over there. Sacred tree, La Ceiba. I want to make sure I got the camera on. And there is the river. Wow, I'm under a Ceiba tree. La Ceiba. Trying not to wet my camera. But right there is a Ceiba tree. Look at the river. It's downpouring over here. Raining thunder. And that's the Ceiba. Ceibas grow to be around 85 to 100 feet tall. This one looks like 45, maybe 50. So she's got a lot of growing to do. She's magnificent. Ceiba tree from different angles. And look at the river. It's raining. Hopefully I'm not going to ruin my camera. Look at all the tropical trees. Look at how muddy the water is because of all the rain. And that's the Ceiba. The water is really muddy because it's raining out. And I'm gonna pray to God I don't get this camera wet. My phone, my cell phone. I'm gonna have to come back when it's not so much rain. Look at all the muddy water. The water's going crazy. La Ceiba, or the Ceiba tree, was the world tree of the Taíno people, the Arawak, the first inhabitants of Behique, which is Puerto Rico. Behique and the rest of the Caribbean. They viewed that the roots was the realm of the ancestors, or it led to the realm of the dead, while the trunk in the center was the realm of the living, or the terrestrial beings, people who were alive, and the branches were the realm of the gods, the Cemi, the highly elevated spirits. So the Ceiba was sacred, to the Taíno. It was sacred to the Taíno, and it was like an axis mundi, where we had our connection between our ancestors, ourselves, and our gods. Not only was it sacred to the Taíno people, but the Africans who were brought also later to the Caribbean. In Africa, they honored the Iroko tree. And since there are no Iroko trees in the Caribbean, they quickly took on to the mythologies of the Ceiba as being the sacred tree. So you will find that the Ceiba tree is sacred to indigenous cultures, not just in Puerto Rico and in the Caribbean, but also in South America, in Central America, in religions such as Santeria, Candomblé, Umbanda, Sanse, Voodoo. Is very sacred. Whenever one crosses the Ceiba tree and you see the shadow, you must ask permission of the tree before you step on it. It's disrespectful to step on the shadow without asking first permission from the Ceiba tree. The Ceiba has a spirit, as all trees have spirits, but the Ceiba is being one as like a kingly spirit. Some call it a saint. And in Santeria, the Ceiba is an orisha. And in Espiritismo, we view it as a santo, a saint. So whenever you pass by its shadows, you have to ask first for its blessings, and you have to ask first if you can step on its shadow. To sleep under the roots of the Ceiba. Now these are pretty small roots because the Ceiba is pretty young. It's still young. I've seen some of these roots that have been as big as 6 feet tall. These are right now not even, it's like a foot. I've seen some Ceiba that have been 6 feet tall. To sleep under the roots of the Ceiba or within the crevices of the Ceiba, it is said that one becomes prophetic, will have prophetic dreams, will see visions, and the spirit of the Ceiba will communicate with you, granting you and blessing you with prophetic dreams. Now, brujos and brujas in the Caribbean say that if you walk around the Ceiba tree clockwise 3 times, you will awaken the spirit of the Ceiba. And the spirit of the Ceiba will give you prophetic visions. It will allow you prophetic visions. And a lot of witches or brujos believe that to do this around 12 o'clock noon, and you're supposed to walk around it 3 times with your power hand, stroking the Ceiba. Some Ceibas, you can see, they have those pointy edges. So you have to caress those pointy edges. I don't know if you can see that. Other witches who practice darker magics or want to cause harm on people, what they do is they come around 12 o'clock midnight or 3 a.m. in the morning, and they go around the tree trunk 12 times counterclockwise, touching it with their left hand. It is said that if you do this, you can invoke a demonic lower level spirit, and this demonic lower level spirit will harm your enemies, or will be like a spirit that you can use to harm enemies. But most people come around noontime, around noontime to 3 o'clock p.m., and they go around it clockwise 3 times with their right hand, and ask the tree for its blessings, the Ceiba for its blessings. It's said also that whenever a person is facing trials and tribulations, you are to place your palms, both palms, on the Ceiba tree. And the Ceiba tree will give you strength and stability to endure those trials and tribulations. And if you want an answer to any problem that you're going through, you place your forehead on top of the Ceiba tree gently and pray, and she will give you the answers to your problems. So again, when people are suffering trials and tribulations, or going through, a trial, they come here and they place both their hands on the prickly skin of the Ceiba, and she will ground you, she will give you strength, and she will give you endurance. And if you need an answer to any problem that you're facing during life, you have to put your forehead on her gently and pray. And she will give you the answer to that problem. So the Ceiba tree was viewed by the Taino as gods. In Haitian voodoo, they're known as Gamboa, great tree. And some people view it as a saint. Saint Judas is often San Juda is often associated with La Ceiba. Here you can pray to any spirit, most spirits of nature, because it is a gathering place for spirits. It is also viewed as the mantle to the Virgin Mary, the Immaculate Conception especially. And the Tainos also believed that the Cemi, the ancient Cemi, rested on top of the Ceiba, especially Yukau, or God. So this belief has also followed up until today, where many people say that on top of the Ceiba is the resting place of God when God visits the earth. If you ever come across a Ceiba next to a pointed mountain like this one right here, the Tainos viewed that the point of the mountain was the realm of Ture, the realm of heaven, the realm of God. So right now you see that the Ceiba is facing this mountain right here. And so right here you're getting the extra blessing of the spirits, the ancestors, and then the point is where the Cemi, the gods, lived, especially Yukau, in the realm of Ture. Ture is the realm of the gods, or the realm of the Cemi. So you can see the Ceiba resting right here, and in the far distance you see La Montaña. Mountains were very sacred to the Taino people. So if you can see the Ceiba right here, most Ceibas grow in the plains. This one is actually interesting because it's growing by a brook, and in the distance you see a mountain. There's a mountain over here covered by these trees, but there's a mountain over there as well. But Ceibas are believed to attract lost souls, spirits of lost souls. Earthbound spirits often are attracted to Ceibas, and they find rest by their roots. What's interesting about this one right here, it is that it's caught, or it's by running water, which is good because it cleanses the environment of earthbound spirits. Any earthbound spirit that is attracted to the Ceiba will finally come to the water, where its soul will be led into the afterlife or the next life. So I found that is really beautiful that that's there. And also in the distance you see the mountain, or the point of the mountain, which is the realm of the gods, which is Ture, heaven. It's the entrance to the realm of the gods, Yukau, and all the gods of the Taino. So I just found that was very interesting, that this Ceiba right here, which most Ceibas rest on flat lands, this one is by a running water or a river. If you're going to a Ceiba, you must pay derecho, an offering. Okay, you cannot go to a Ceiba without leaving coins. It is believed to be a healing tree, okay, with a lot of healing properties, and the leaves are used to make baths to remove negative magic, black magic, while the dirt around the trunk is also used in many spells for magic. While the dirt around the trunk is used in many spells to make powders within magic or magical spells. But again, it is a healing tree. And again, many baths are made with the leaves. People boil the leaves and make a spiritual bath to remove sicknesses caused by either black magic or a curse or negative magic. A Ceiba tree can never be cut. It can never be disrespected. And what's interesting is, well, it's raining right now, and mythology says that lightning will never strike a Ceiba. So let's hope so, because I'm sitting under a Ceiba tree and I'm praying to God. There's no lightning right now, but there was lightning earlier, and hopefully that mythology is true, because it is said that a lightning bolt will never strike a Ceiba, because a Ceiba is that sacred. So as I said, many lost souls get gathered here by the Ceiba. So it becomes a portal to where you can help a lost spirit or a lost soul find some form of elevation. Again, the dirt is used for many spells, any dirt around the Ceiba. But you just can't go to a Ceiba and gather that. To do that without paying a derecho, payment, is to disrespect the Ceiba and to have these spirits curse you. There's a sign here. I just saw that sign. It says Ceiba, but I can't see what else it says. Let me see if I can move that leaf. It says Ceiba. That sign must have been there when that tree was planted. Let me see if I'm willing enough to go over there and see what that sign says. So this is the sign by that Ceiba tree. Now whoever planted it placed this sign as well. I wish there was a date of when it was planted. When the African slaves were brought to the Caribbean, they quickly saw the Ceiba as a vortex or a portal where they can communicate with their ancestors. So often, especially in a neighborhood where there are people who follow Santeria or Umbanda, Candomblé, Voodoo, you will often see offerings of coins and fruit by the trunk of the Ceiba as an offering to the ancestors or to one's dead, especially if the ancestors are in a far distant land, remembering that the Ceiba is a connection between, the realm of the dead. And so the ancestors can be communicated here. It doesn't matter even if they're in a far off distant country, but this is like a portal or a vortex where you can come and contact your ancestral spirits, your dead, the Taino, the African spirits. Often in places where you see that they practice Umbanda, the Ceiba tree has many ribbons, white ribbons surrounding it, and often liquor bottles or bottles of water or juices are hung by the branches to quench the thirst of the ancestors, while the fruit or food offerings are placed by the trunk to feed the ancestors, the ancestral spirits. Esta la Ceiba. She's young. She looks like she's around 40, 50 feet tall. They grow to be 80 to 100 feet tall. And just to sit under this one who's so young, it's magnificent. The ancient Taino Behique, or shamans, who wanted to astral travel or enter into the realm of the dead, they would often sit by the branches or meditate by the root, as it becomes a portal or an entranceway into the realm of the dead. So often the Behiques, the shamans of the Caribbean, you would often see them resting or meditating in a meditative form under a Ceiba, as it was an entranceway or a portal into the realm of the dead and into the realm of the gods or the spirits. So there's a little waterfall around here, and I try to make it down there safely. And I'm covered by canopies of trees. I'm going to try to see if I can find a way to get into the waterfall down there. Look how beautiful this is. Amazing. And it's just a canopy of trees. Wish you could see the whole magnificence of this. I want you to see this. Look at that. On that little hill, it's a bull, un toro. The river is over here. And he's just grazing away. A big guy. So if you're wondering why that water is brown, it's because it's mixing with clay. So in actuality, that's actually really good for the skin. Clay bath. It's really good for the skin. People probably will wonder, why is the water brown? I'm going to show you this. Right here. Look at that. Sacred clay all around the bank. This is clay. Look at that. That's clay. So I got some in my hands. Look at that. It's clay. All that is clay right there. So that's why the water is brown. Barro, bara, sacred clay. All around the banks of the river, el rio. So when it rains, all that clay goes into the water. It's really good for the skin. Right here, I think right here, that is, that's lengua de vaca. I think that is what that is. And it's funny because it grows wild here. And in the United States, a lot of Americans, they buy them as houseplants. Look at it, it just grows wild here. You can't even see the beauty of what I'm looking at. Just taking a stroll through the woods by my house. Look at that, there's another one. Look at how beautiful these trees are. Look at how beautiful that is. If you can see that. This is tropical trees that I don't come across in New England or Massachusetts, where I'm from. And then El Rio is over here, the river. I can hear it. I just can't see it because it's completely covered. It's completely covered by the trees. Look at that. I'm in the jungle right now. This is my Puerto Rico, my Borinquen. This is my home. And I live in a valley covered by greenery and rivers and mountains and bats and caves. You can see the river over there. It's raining, so it's going crazy and wild. And I just like just the beauty of the plants that, you know, especially the tropical wildlife. Look at this one. It just grows abundant and wild all through the island. Taking a nice walk through the dark, smoking a cigarette. I don't know if you can see that light right there. This is the sky. There's a mountain here. There's a light, one light on the mountain from like a lamppost. Just one light. And the rest is all darkness. Dark, 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 dark. Darkness. To this rain. Good for purifying, for cleansing, for removing negative energy. Rain, when you gather it, it's really good for charging talismans, amulets. It's good for using in baths, as this rainwater will purify you. I'm in Puerto Rico, my mother's house. It's just raining, I love it. One of the greatest symbols of Taino cosmology and spirituality, or symbol of their spirituality, was the Cemi stone. There's a lot of spiritual meaning to the Cemi stone. Right here you see a typical Cemi stone. There are various different forms. Sometimes you will see a frog. Sometimes the Cemi stone can be a turtle. This one, you can see the face faces this way. Many times it's this way. The face is represented here. This Cemi stone right here, you can break it down in many ways because it has a lot of spiritual significance to the Taino spirituality and cosmology, you know, in the cosmic views of life and creation. This one can represent, this is a Cemi stone, a typical Cemi stone. And this one can represent a Mother Earth, Atabe, frog mother, serpent mother, turtle mother, mother of fertility. Okay. It could also, the top point represents the 4 points or corners of the cosmos, which could represent Itiba Kahubaba, the mother of the 2 sacred twins, which represents the 4 cardinal points of the universe, and the 4 what do you call it? I'm trying to think of the word. The 4 seasons. I couldn't think of the word. That the 4 seasons. Itiwa Kahubaba gave birth to 2 sets of twins, so on top could represent the 4 cardinal points and the 2 sets of twins of Itiwa Kahubaba, and it could represent Atabe, Mother Earth, fertility mother, and it also represents God and the 3 points of creation of life within the Taino spiritual traditions. Mountains were sacred to the Taino people. Mountains were called Yukiyu or Lukiyu, sacred mountains. And the Cemi stone represents the 3 cardinal points of the Taino spirituality and religion. On the top of the mountain, actually, if you can see this mountain, I don't know if you can see it. It kind of looks like a turtle head, a long, actually type of dinosaur. Actually, looks like. But anyways, the top of the mountain represents the realm of God, Ture, the heavens. And if you see the Cemi stone, it has 4 points, which represents the 4 cardinal points of the universe. Now to the left, over here on the Cemi stone, of course you can't see it because it's dark, it's the realm of Guabe. Guabe is the realm of the dead. And to the right is Gois. Gois is the realm of the living spirits, the terrestrial beings, the spirits who are incarnated. So the Cemi stone embodies the mountain, las montañas. So you have Turei. Actually, let me turn on the light. Okay, so here's the Cemi stone. You can see somewhat the mountain. But the Cemi stone represents, some Cemi stones look like turtles. Represents the three, well, first of all, the top represents Turei, the heavens, the realm of Yukahu, God. Then you have right here, the left point is the realm of Coabe, which is ruled by Marukoti Wayaba, the god of death, or the Cemi of death. Then you have this point right here is the point of Gois, the realm of the living. So this is just a Cemi stone. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, this first one of me recording in Puerto Rico. You can hear the coquis, the Puerto Rican tree frogs. And this is just the first video I recorded here today in Puerto Rico. I hope you enjoy it. You can see one moment it's raining, one moment it's nice. I hope you can hear the tree frogs, the Puerto Rican coqui. This is Sancita Brujo Luis. I hope you enjoyed this video. Santo Sanse.